People will say they miss you and never pick up the phone and call you. When people say they miss me and they haven't called or made any attempt to contact me, I just do a smirk, and in my mind I am rolling my eyes. When people say they care about me, I just smile, because I know that people say words to make them feel better, for their conscience to feel better, but they don't really mean it. So you may think that is negative, but this is the truth. I see from the outside perspective of not coming from the typical family dynamic. I see from the perspective of someone who's alone. And of course, there's great people out there, and you just have to remember to keep those ones close. Keep them close, because it's so rare. When I read that back, I'm like, dang, that was so deep. These are things that I think I've never said to people out loud, but always had it in my mind. That thought really came out because I remember there was someone, like a friend that I used to talk to, and I remember I called them, and then after that we didn't have a conversation again. I ended up communicating with them, and then they wrote back saying, oh, I miss you. At that moment, I looked at that specific words, and I remember thinking to myself, no you don't, because you haven't attempted to call, you haven't attempted to make any type of communication connection. And I don't think I ever responded to that, because I was like, okay, but don't just say it, but show me. Nowadays people lack following their words with action, and people have just got used to just saying nice things but not really meaning it. It's so important to follow your words with action. If you really miss someone, call them, text them, actually tell them, hey, I've been thinking about you, blah blah. And because I'm aware of this, I make the effort. If I haven't spoken to someone in a while or haven't heard from them, I will purposely contact them. Even if it's just, hey, just wanted to say hi, and that's it. I know I made sure to say that it was negative because I know it could sound negative. As I wrote that line in that moment, there was something a part of me that reminded me, hey, there's good people out there. When you meet someone that's great, who genuinely cares about you and checks up on you, it's important to keep them close and not push them away. You getting bad experiences from one person should not penalize the other people who genuinely adore you and admire you and love you and care for you. I think that's so precious. I think in that moment there was a small voice that, as I was writing it, reminded me, Nakia, there's good people out there that care about you. As much as in that moment where I felt down and I was like, no one cares, everyone just says all these nice things and they don't really mean it. But there's a part that reminded me, though, there's good people. I could have thought of a few people who genuinely cared. But it's important that you notice it when they come by, because it's easy to push them away. Sometimes when I do get people around me who care about me, there's times where I want to push them away. They're not really like my friend, they're just trying to be nice. There's the other side where I want to self-sabotage it, but I then remind myself, nope, they're good people. They genuinely like you. I had a friend the other day, recently, we hadn't talked for months, but she just reached out and said, hey, I've been thinking about you, and we ended up meeting up and having a really good time. And I remember thinking, this is what it's about. And there was a moment where I thought to myself, okay, so we didn't talk for months, but she admired me so much and liked my friendship so much that she thought of me and was like, hey, let's hang out. And it was to the point where she was late and she was so apologetic, and she was like, hey, like, I'll buy your drinks and food. And I was like, see, that's such a nice person. She really cherished the friendship. She cherished my company. And it's the little things like that that sometimes we can let go over our heads because we're so focused on the people who just didn't meet those demands.